You know what's wild? The average American now consumes between 150 and 180 pounds of sugar every single year. That's like eating your own body weight in sugar every 12 months. And it's sneaky. Most of it doesn't come from cookies or candy. It comes from what we drink. That morning pumpkin latte, that healthy smoothie at lunch, or that boba tea after school, that juice box that we slip into our kids' lunchbox. We're actually drinking candy every single day, and we forget to count it. So today we're going to uncover the sweetest trick of all, how sugar sneaks into our cups and how it's quietly training both adults and kids to crave sugar all day. When we talk about sugar, we act like it's a sometimes treat, a cookie here, a slice of cake there. But when researchers add it all up, Americans average 17 teaspoons of added sugar per day. The World Health Organization recommends a maximum of 6 teaspoons a day for women and 9 teaspoons a day for men. We're doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling that every single day without realizing it. Every semester, I show the kids the recommendations from the American Heart Association. The American Heart Association recommends limiting sugar intake to the following amounts. Adults and children over 2, no more than 9 teaspoons or 36 grams per day for men, and no more than 6 teaspoons or 25 grams per day for women. And children under 2 should have no added sugar. Excessive sugar consumption can increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, obesity, type 2 diabetes. It can cause dental problems. Added sugars are found in many foods and beverages, including soda, fruit drinks, candy, baked goods, and processed foods. And some of these are more obvious than others. What are the major sources of added sugar? Well, the numbers are in here from the American Heart Association, and these percentages show the beverage and food categories from which we consume added sugar, and sugar-sweetened beverages is 24%. I think that's why it's so sneaky. It's the other thing that I have found also with health coaching. When I have people account for what they eat in a day, they often forget to include the things that they're drinking. See, now the problem that we have with drinking our sugar is that we don't chew it and then we don't feel full. So we sip while we're driving or scrolling or talking, and our body never gets the, hey, I've had enough signal. That's how an innocent drink habit adds up to 150 pounds of sugar a year. And the scary part is even kids are hitting adult levels before they hit puberty. And some things that most people don't realize is that chewing actually plays a major role in how your brain knows that you've eaten. It's not just about calories, it's about the signals. When you chew food, you activate hormones that say stop, we're satisfied. When you drink your calories, you skip that step. We'll come back to that in a little bit, because once you understand how powerful chewing really is, you'll see why drinking sugar can hijack your hunger and keep you chasing that next sip. But first, I want to address how coffee shops have become the new candy store. Let's be honest, coffee shops used to be simple. You ordered coffee. It tasted like coffee. Maybe a splash of cream or a cube of sugar. Now, they're dessert bars with espresso shots. If Willy Wonka opened a cafe, this is what it would look like. Caramel drizzles, cookie crumbles, sweet foams, and syrups. They're candy coatings dressed up as caffeine. And here's the twist. They're not just marketing to adults anymore. They're marketing younger and younger. The introduction of the Frappuccino changed everything. It looks like a milkshake. Tastes like one too. And kids want it. And yes, I used to buy these for my kids. It was new, it was a novelty, and I wanted to treat them. Coffee shops have become adult candy stores, and they're pulling our kids in younger and younger, getting them hooked on caffeine and sugar before high school, especially adding those other sweet drinks like the strawberry lemonade or the strawberry smoothie or the hot chocolate. We're really creating diabetes in a cup, and this may not be an exaggeration. A large frozen caramel drink is 60 grams of sugar. A pumpkin spice frap, 80 grams of sugar. This might be more than a cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory. We tell ourselves, oh, it's just coffee, but it's more like a milkshake or worse. And you know what else sneaks past people? Coffee creamers. When I am coaching clients, they'll tell me, oh, I don't drink sugary drinks. And then I ask, do you use flavored coffee creamer? And their eyes usually get big. See, coffee creamer is really sneaky because 1 tablespoon might say it's 5 grams of sugar, but most people don't just put 1 tablespoon in. So if you're adding 3 or 4 tablespoons, now you're adding like a can of Coke to your morning coffee without even realizing it. Even those sugar-free ones can mess with your system. They're full of corn syrup solids and sweeteners. Even artificial sweeteners can make us crave sugar all day. So it's not that people lack discipline. It's that sugar has 1,000 disguises, and coffee creamer is one of its favorite costumes. Let's just do a little coffee math. If we go get a steamed pumpkin spice cream at Starbucks, it's 65 grams of sugar. A venti hot chocolate, 46 grams of sugar. A strawberry lemonade, 62 grams of sugar. This is crazy. That's like 2 cans of Coke. And because it's liquid, it hits our bloodstream fast, gives us instant energy, but also that crash. Then what do? Well, we want more sugar or more caffeine. It's the perfect little addiction loop. And that's one thing I talk about often on this channel is finding our attachments or our addictions so that we can set ourselves free. Coffee chains know exactly how to keep you coming back for more. Now let's talk about some of the obvious sugar drinks, the ones that we think we know better, we think we're doing better. A single 12-ounce can of Coke has 38 grams of sugar in it. A 20-ounce bottle, that's 65 grams. Kool-Aid, 1 8-ounce cup mixed as directed, has about 16 grams of sugar. And let's be honest, no one ever just drinks 1 cup. Fruit juice, we call it natural, but a 12-ounce glass of orange juice has about 21 grams of sugar in it, and apple juice often runs higher. Parents can ban soda and then pack juice boxes every day. I made this mistake. Different label, but same sugar rush. It sounds healthy. It's one of those healthy halos that we've talked about in my other videos. You see, this is why we're seeing non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and insulin resistance showing up in kids. And that used to start in midlife, and it's starting younger because this generation is consuming more sugar than any generation prior. And that brings me to smoothies, because when we know better, we do better, and we think we're doing better, and we take our kids to the smoothie bar, the smoothie cafe. They're fruit, they're colorful, it's in a blender, it must be fresh. But most chain smoothies are liquid sugar, with one of those healthy halos. They make it sound healthy, but let's look at a few. At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, every smoothie automatically comes with turbinado sugar unless you say no added sugar. Their Mocha Madness has 163 grams of sugar, and their Blimey Limey has 129 grams of sugar. This is more than 3 cans of Coke, and we think we're doing better. At Jamba Juice, the Peanut Butter Mood smoothie, which sounds like a great protein-rich choice, has 123 grams of sugar, and a medium Orange Dream Machine has 86 grams of sugar. Get the large and it's 110 grams. And they're often made with juice concentrates and sherbets, not whole fruit. At Smoothie King, at least they show the added sugar. Their Pumpkin Delight has 38 grams of sugar for the medium, which is a much better seasonal pick, although I would like you to compare that to a can of Coke. Often these do not have whole fruit in them. They have fruit concentrates, liquids, and syrups. See, if you remove the fiber and you just add juice concentrate and sugar, now this liquid sugar is going to spike our blood sugar faster. This is, candy in a cup. If your smoothie base is fruit juice and yogurt and turbinado syrup, you're basically drinking a milkshake. A real smoothie would have whole fruit, add in some greens, healthy fats, some protein, and fiber to slow down the impact on our blood sugar. I'm always telling families in my program of the importance of fat, fiber, and protein to stabilize or maintain healthy blood sugar. Try adding some spinach, almond butter, chia seeds, ground flax, or hemp hearts. Now that's something that you can feel good about. And then we have the latest trend, which is boba tea. It's cute, it's colorful, it's everywhere. But most boba drinks are basically a liquid candy bar with tapioca pearls. A 16-ounce milk tea with tapioca pearls averages 38 grams of sugar before you add extra flavors or jellies. So again, I want you to think a can of Coke. And that's not even counting the impact of the caffeine. It's the same addictive duo as the energy drinks, sugar plus stimulation. No wonder teens love it. Now, if you love boba, don't panic, just modify. Learn to make it at home. You can search for some YouTube videos. I have made it with the kids before. Of course, we made it with real tea, tapioca pearls, and a lot less sweetener. You can use a little maple syrup or a little honey. We have to retrain our taste buds. We're training our taste buds to want things sweeter and sweeter. And it's not about restriction, it's about modification in the best interest of our health and the health of our kids. So why drinking sugar hits so hard? I need to get into the science part a little bit. Researchers looked at over 500,000 people worldwide and found something shocking, that each 12-ounce sugary drink per day increases your risk of type 2 diabetes by 25%. And the reason is how our body handles liquid sugar. Solid food takes time to digest. Your stomach has to stretch, your brain has to say, I'm full. Insulin gradually rises, but liquid sugar, it sort of skips the line. It rushes into the bloodstream, spikes your glucose, floods the body with insulin, and then you crash. Then you might be tired, moody, and definitely craving more sugar. Over time, those spikes and crashes wear down the system. This is when we start hearing about insulin resistance. See, your body will start storing more fat, your pancreas gets overwhelmed, and this energy roller coaster becomes your normal. Add caffeine to the mix, and you're tricked into thinking that you're fine because you feel good in the moment, which is also the role of adrenaline or cortisol, to feel good in the moment, even though over time this is very catabolic to our body. I'm going to go full health coach here for a minute because earlier I promised we would talk about why chewing matters and why it's one of the most underrated aspects of healthy eating and our health. Chewing activates satiety signals. So when you chew food, several things happen that don't happen when you drink it. You're using your jaw muscles, your salivary glands, and your taste receptors, and it's sending messages via the vagus nerve to the brainstem. The brain then releases satiety hormones like leptin and GLP-1, which signal, hey, I'm eating, slow down, and this process takes about 15 to 20 minutes to fully register. When you drink calories, you skip this entire sensory cascade. No chewing equals fewer hormonal stop signals, and a delayed sense of fullness. So your body still feels like it hasn't eaten, even though you've just taken in a few hundred calories from a smoothie, a boba, or a sweet coffee. Chewing actually slows the pace of intake. Chewing naturally forces slower consumption. You can drink that 400-calorie frappuccino in 5 minutes, but you would never chew and swallow 400 calories of solid food that quickly. That slower pace gives the gut-brain access time to catch up, so you feel satisfied before you overeat. Liquids, on the other hand, move through the stomach fast, especially sugary liquids, which means less stretch of the stomach wall, less sensory messages that we're full. That's telling the brain that I've had enough. Chewing also improves nutrient absorption because the mechanical breakdown of chewing mixed with our saliva, which contains enzymes like amylase, actually start to digest our food in our mouth. So better chewing equals better digestion equals better nutrient absorption. When you skip that step, your digestive system actually works harder. It may not absorb all the nutrients as efficiently, especially from high fiber foods like fruits or vegetables. We need to have sensory satisfaction. Chewing is part of the experience of eating. Texture, crunch, aroma, all of which activate the dopamine reward pathway. Liquids give you sweetness without texture, so the brain says that was good, but it wasn't complete. So you keep searching for something more. And that's how cravings continue even after you've had enough calories. Liquids tend to slip past the calorie budget because they don't trigger fullness or satisfaction. So the brain often doesn't count liquid calories in total energy intake. Research shows that people who consume sugary drinks don't reduce their later food intake to compensate. They add calories on top of that. That's one reason why drinking our calories leads to faster weight gain than eating the same calories from solid food. See, sugar gives us comfort and caffeine gives us a feeling of control. Together, they give us a little hit of happiness on demand. That morning latte is me time. That smoothie feels like self-care, and that boba feels like a reward at the end of a day. And honestly, I get it. They're delicious, but they're also designed to keep you coming back. Every year, I think they add more and more sugar. When I look at these numbers, and I've been a health coach for almost 2 decades, the amount of sugar added continues to increase. Even the unsweetened drinks sneak in sweet cream, flavored foam, or caramel drizzle. I don't know. I think we've created this sip cycle. Spike, crash, crave, repeat. It's definitely a cycle of addiction. I saw a number of posts on Reddit of people saying, I would never give up my latte or my frap before I slave away at my 9 to 5. So make sure you watch my video on reward and punishment, because we often use these foods as some type of compensation because we are looking for that hit of happiness from somewhere. And if we're not getting it from life, then we may be downing cups of sugar to bring us that hit of happiness. The good news is that once you see it, you can stop the cycle without giving up everything you love, but by making some modifications. There are some simple swaps. I have found that when we make things ourselves, we have far more control. So I encourage you not to give your power away. Here's how to keep the flavor and ditch the crash. Go ahead and have that coffee, but ask for half the amount of pumps. Go for a small instead of a grande. Try adding just a touch of cinnamon and honey to your coffee. For smoothies, say no added sugar. Use whole fruit, greens, and protein. Make sure you tell them no added sugar. And for boba, again, no added sugar. Go light on the pearls. Get a small instead of a large. Switch to a tea with pieces of fruit in it. For kids, swap out those fruit juice boxes and do fruit-infused water or homemade smoothies instead. In class, I teach the kids to make protein shakes, not milkshakes. We've made boba tea without added sugar. Of course, they didn't like it as much as the boba cafes, but I'm trying to retrain their taste buds. We've made homemade hot cocoa. In 1 year, we made pumpkin pie smoothies that they really enjoyed. My intention is to empower you with better information and better options. Most of us just aren't aware of the amount of sugar hiding in our drinks. But once you know what's in your cup, you can't unsee it. So here's to a fun and healthy holiday season, and I'll see you in the next video.